The restaurant was one of the most expensive in the city, a place where wealth was displayed like armor and status was measured by the sparkle of one's watch or the cut of a suit. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, their light scattering in soft golden rays across polished marble floors. The air was filled with the subtle scent of fine wines and freshly baked bread. Soft piano music played in the background, barely noticeable at first, but it set the mood, quiet, refined, untouchable. Every table was full. Men in tailored suits, women in dresses that shimmered even in dim light. Every gesture, every laugh, every sip of wine screamed wealth. Money was everywhere, but kindness, that was scarce. Ethan moved carefully between tables, holding a tray with slightly trembling hands. His uniform was clean but worn, the fabric had softened with repeated washes, and his shoes had been repaired so many times the seams barely held together. He kept his head down, practiced the invisible walk of someone who had learned long ago that in places like this, it was safer to be unnoticed. Since his father had passed away, he had been supporting his mother and younger siblings. His mother's illness demanded expensive treatments, and bills never waited for him to have enough money. Ethan had taken on 2 jobs, one after the other, every day of the week. Every shift mattered. Every dollar mattered. He had learned to move like a shadow, to anticipate the needs of demanding customers without drawing attention to himself, and to swallow insults silently because survival left no room for confrontation. That evening, a tray of drinks balanced precariously in his hands as he approached a table. He had been working this section for nearly 6 months, memorizing orders, noting preferences, and keeping track of the timing of each course. He felt a surge of nervousness when he reached a table with a couple he had served before. A glass of water wobbled slightly and tipped. A few drops fell on the polished marble table. "Hey!" The sharp snap of the man's voice cut through the piano music like a knife. Ethan froze, his heart hammering in his chest. A man in an expensive suit glared at him, the gold of his watch catching the light with every movement of his hand. "Are you blind?" he barked. "Do you even know how much this suit costs?" The sound rippled through the restaurant. Conversations halted mid-sentence. Forks paused mid-air. The air seemed to thicken as all eyes turned toward Ethan. He felt every gaze as a weight pressing down on him. I'm sorry, sir," he said quickly, reaching for a napkin. "It was an accident." "An accident?" The man sneered, leaning back in his chair. "People like you shouldn't be allowed near customers like me." Ethan's face burned with shame. He had encountered rude customers before, but there was something in this man's voice, a sharpness, a deliberate cruelty, that cut deeper than words should. "I'll clean it right away," he said softly, hoping his voice sounded more confident than he felt. The man laughed harshly, savoring the attention he was receiving. "Forgive you. This place is going downhill. Hiring people who don't even know how to serve water properly." No one spoke. Not the couple beside them. Not the friends across the table. Not even the manager, who stood frozen near the bar, unsure whether to intervene. Ethan felt a lump rise in his throat. He had been trained to smile and apologize, to keep moving, to be invisible, but this invisible armor felt useless under the weight of the man's scorn. Then, from the far corner of the restaurant, a chair scraped softly against the floor. Heads turned. A woman stood. She did not move loudly. She did not announce herself with dramatic gestures or sparkling jewelry. But her presence was undeniable, commanding, yet calm. Every step she took toward the manager seemed deliberate, measured. Her voice was quiet but firm. "If this man continues to be treated like this," she said, "everyone at my table will leave." The manager blinked, caught off guard. "Ma'am." The rude customer, clearly irritated by the attention diverted to someone else, turned his gaze on her. "Who are you supposed to be?" he demanded, his arrogance unshaken by her calm demeanor. The woman's eyes met his with unwavering certainty. "Someone who believes dignity is not optional," she said. He laughed, mocking her. "You're threatening me over a waiter." "No," she said, her voice gentle but commanding. "I'm reminding you where you are." She turned her gaze to the manager. "This restaurant chain belongs to me." The room went completely silent. Even the faint piano notes seemed to hold their breath. The manager paled, nodding quickly. Yes, of course, Ms. Harrison." Ethan's heart raced. He barely dared to hope. The rude customer stood abruptly, his face a mask of outrage. "This is ridiculous. I spend more money here in one night than." "You're done here," she said, her calm unwavering. Within seconds, security arrived. The man protested, shouted, demanded respect, but the room had already withdrawn its consent. He was escorted out. The door closed behind him. The soft piano music resumed, filling the space once again with gentle notes, a return to calm after the storm. The woman turned to Ethan. Her gaze was kind, assessing, and genuine. "What's your name?" she asked. "Ethan," he whispered. "You handled yourself with grace," she said. "No one deserves humiliation for an honest mistake." She placed a generous tip on the table and added, "Come to the office tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. Ethan could hardly sleep that night. Thoughts swirled in his mind. Was it real? Would she really remember? Could one person's kindness change his life? The next morning, he stood outside her office, heart pounding. The door opened, and she gestured him inside. She reviewed his file, his hours, his performance, his dedication. "You work harder than most people I know," she said. Her words carried weight, sincerity, and respect. "I've been watching. You don't just serve food, you serve with heart. Today, that matters more than any accident." That day, Ethan was promoted. Not out of pity, not for show, but because hard work, patience, and integrity had finally been seen and rewarded. As he left her office, he realized something profound. Sometimes, the most powerful people watch quietly, waiting to see who rises in adversity. And sometimes, a single moment of cruelty reveals who truly deserves to rise above it. From that day forward, Ethan carried himself differently. He moved through the world with dignity, not arrogance, and with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that kindness and integrity will not go unnoticed forever. He continued to work hard, but now with a sense of purpose he had never felt before. The restaurant, once a place of fear and invisibility, had become a place of hope. And for the first time in years, Ethan believed in the quiet justice of the world.